And our next guest, Curt Sampson, author of the book Roaring Back: The Fall and Rise of Tiger Woods. It is a epic story of Tiger as, man, there were many of us, Curt. First off, welcome to the show, and thanks for coming on board on this Monday. And there was many of us who would have conversations about whether we would ever hear from or see anything positive in the life of Tiger Woods with all that he went through, the car accidents, the surgeries, just a life that just seemed to be spiraling out of control. But we witnessed something that was truly special at last year's Masters.
You know, you're right. I think you nailed it. Tiger didn't just come back from illness or injury. He came back from being a laughingstock. His status as a hero went from the top floor to the bottom so fast. I can't think of anyone who's fallen so far so fast in our esteem. But then, you know, this comeback is extraordinary. It's a redemption as much as a comeback.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see, like, what do you think drove him more? You know, coming back and proving people wrong, or just kind of getting away from, as you kind of, you know, chronicled that, you know, being this embarrassment.
You know, that's a powerful motivator for a lot of people, proving the critics wrong. I think there was something of that in Tiger's comeback. I think also the guy just has an unshakable self-image as a golf champion. That's all he sees, all he has seen since he was, 13 years old or so. And despite that, despite the mistresses and the DUI and the accusations of PED use, he never seemed to get shaken. Of course, his performances were up and down, but overall, he's just proven himself to be one of the greatest winners in any sport ever.
Curt Sampson's our guest. He's the best-selling author of Roaring Back: The Fall and Rise of Tiger Woods. And you kind of trace his road to where he gets back to Augusta and how improbable it really was. Where did that start? Where did it kind of enter his mind that, hey, I'm coming back to play in the Masters, and I'm coming back to win at the Masters, something that many of us kind of scoffed and laughed at?
Yeah, it happened fairly quickly. That's a good point. In 96, I think, and maybe even early 97, he was telling people that his days as a champion golfer were over because of the pain he was in. You recall that he had spinal fusion surgery, but the guy worked out and rehabbed like mad. His win in the Tour Championship in November 2018 really gave us a signal that he was back with a capital B, and it really teed up, sorry for the pun, the last year's Masters. People came to town expecting to see the people's champ rise to the top again, and he did in a very in a crazy tournament, one of the most dramatic ever. So my book is more or less instant nostalgia for a tournament that really did deserve to be memorialized.
It seems like one of the biggest struggles for Tiger Woods when he was in the midst of making his comeback before that win was the Tiger effect. Right? Like, what made Tiger so dominant was the mental aspect of knowing if you're another golfer and you're entering a tournament, you're essentially playing for second place. And that's how it felt for so long. And then at some point that changed. So how did Tiger get over that?
You know, you're right. It was the mere passage of time, I guess. When Tiger was in his 20s and into his 30s, there was that Tiger effect, a little bit of unacknowledged give up in his competitors when the other guys would see his name on the leaderboard and climbing up. You just the sense was inescapable that the Tiger was going to prevail and not whoever, David Duval or Ernie Els or somebody. But now Tiger's, he was 43 last Masters. He's 44 now. Those days are over. I spoke with his closest competitors in last year's Masters, especially Tony Finau, and Brooks Koepka. While they have enormous respect for the guy, there's no sense that they're intimidated. Finau made it very plain to me that he was out there to win, and nothing was going to get in his way. But then everybody came to the 12th tee, and things changed rapidly.
Hey, Curt, where do you think that ended? That whole Tiger, fearful, you just said, these guys, they kind of almost laugh at the notion that, man, these guys played with this guy and they were afraid of him. Like these new guys, they don't. When did that kind of evaporate to his adversaries?
Yeah, this is speculation, and I couldn't put a date on it, but there's a way to answer that question with the golf ball. Tiger had been about the longest hitter on tour. I doubt that he's top 50. Tiger hits at about 300. Finau, Koepka, and a bunch of others average over 320. So that there's something really intimidating about getting up against a guy who hits a home run ball every time. There are better power hitters now. That's just my theory as a formerly serious golfer and observer of the game for a long time.
How can you measure Tiger's impact on the sport? I mean, this is one of the most interesting topics to me because, we were talking about Michael Jordan and his impact on the sport of basketball and the NBA, and that was massive. But Tiger's impact, even today in 2020, is still so large. It's like night and day, and what he does for the PGA and the sport of golf. Just talk about that and what you've learned there.
I agree. Purses have skyrocketed during the Tiger era, and don't think the other players haven't noticed that. That's why partly of the reason why they take a knee when discussing Tiger. There's another aspect to it. Golf's a participant sport, of course. I doubt that Michael made a lot of people take up basketball, but Tiger's charisma and his gaudy success really helped spur an industry. The people who sell clubs and balls and shirts and so forth, they've been so happy with Tiger. They've made so much money off the guy. Tiger, of course, is as rich as a king himself, but he's brought along a lot of other people with his success.
Great stuff. The book is called, Roaring Back, The Fall and Rise of Tiger Woods. And Curt Sampson is our guest, New York Times bestselling author, detailing the highs and lows of Tiger Woods' career. And there's really it starts with that loss in the 2009 PGA Championship. He has the obsession with his swing that kind of, has been chronicled a whole heck of a lot. And then, of course, his ex-wife swinging the 9-iron at him. Those are three events that really kind of, break down as to three really big moments in first his rise, fall, and then re-rise again, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, although I'm a keen observer, like everyone else really who cares about golf, I've looked into Tiger, not quite obsessively, but to a pretty large degree. This is my second Tiger book. I wrote one in 2001 that was called Chasing Tiger, which was the state of professional golf back then. And although I've written whatever that is, 700 pages on Tiger Plus magazine articles, I don't claim to fully understand the guy, especially that taking apart a swing that has just won a major, which happened, The idea of perfection in golf. I don't know if you guys are golfers, but geez, one perfect shot around is pretty good for me. Tiger had this idea that he could produce them over and over. That's his white whale, and possibly a reason for his success. But I still don't understand it.
Yeah, it's and I wonder in closing, as you mentioned, you've written multiple books. The chasing Tiger is because everybody's chasing this perfect player almost. And now, has he come to terms with, I'm not that guy anymore? And has that allowed him to be the success that he was at the Masters and be able to compete back on the tour? Because he has come to terms with, I'm not the same guy that I once was, and that's okay.
I think you're onto something there. He does seem to be a more relaxed human on the course and off. He physically cannot practice like he used to or play in the number of tournaments that he used to. From now on, it's going to be, I don't know, I suppose 5 to 8 a year after we get going again in professional golf, hopefully soon. And that's maybe with age. He's 44, as I mentioned. Maybe with that age has come some wisdom. I think it was wisdom and maturity and people skills have come quite slowly to this guy, but I think they've arrived.
Check out the book, Roaring Back, The Fall and Rise of Tiger Woods. Our guest has been the author, Curt Sampson. He's a New York best-selling author, and he's had very many books on both Tiger and the golf game. It's an excellent read. You guys should definitely dive into it during this social distancing period. Sit out on your porch and enjoy it. Curt Sampson, kind enough to join us. Thank you so much, Curt.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.